We all know Globox is allergic to plum juice. See you in Rayman 4!
Surprise! It's me! I think you're all wondering how you got here. The Rayman series had a really good run in the late 90s and the early 2000s. We obviously started off with the original Rayman, which it wasn't the greatest, but it was received alright, and it was a good starting point for the series. And then of course, we got the juggernaut known as Rayman 2: The Great Escape. This game single-handedly launched the Rayman franchise into success. And this game alone made Rayman a household name. After Rayman 2's success, the PS2 came out, and obviously people were hoping for a PS2 Rayman game. And that's when we got Rayman Arena, or known as Rayman M. And this game wasn't a mainline entry, this is more of a spin-off game. And honestly, I enjoyed this game when I was a kid. Rayman Arena was the first Rayman game I played. And fun fact, I believe it was the second PS2 game I ever played. The first PS2 game I actually played was Dog's Life. It wasn't the full game, it was the demo of Dog's Life, as the PS2 we got came with a demo of Dog's Life. So technically you could say Rayman Arena was the first full PS2 game I played. But yeah, I have very fond memories of Rayman Arena. I loved this game, but obviously, we haven't seen a main entry into the Rayman franchise for PS2 yet. Where is it at? Well, in 2003, we got Rayman 3 Hoodlum Havoc. Now this game was received pretty well, however Rayman 3 had a different creative lead. You see, the brainchild behind the first two Rayman games, Michael Ansel, whilst he was heavily involved in the creative direction of the first two Rayman games, Rayman 3 he was on the back burner for, because during this time, Michael Ansel was working on Beyond Good and Evil, so Michael left the development team to make Rayman 3 without him, and the final result was pretty good. Some people argue it wasn't the right direction for the series to make. I think the positive feedback of this game outweighs the negatives. Now here we are, in the year 2005. What does Ubisoft have in store for our limbless marsupial? Well, during 2005, a company known as Phoenix Interactive Entertainment was commissioned to create Rayman 4. This was going to be the Rayman 4 that Murphy teased in Rayman 3. So the development of this lasted 10 months, but then, in late 2005, something happened. Yep, Rayman was not safe from the motion control trend. With the announcement of the Nintendo Wii, after the Wii had been revealed, with its revolutionary motion controls at the time is the key word, I personally think the motion controls were not the right step for the industry to go in, so thank God it didn't turn out that way. But that didn't stop the higher-ups at Ubisoft being like, cha-ching! A new system is coming out with new cool motion controls. We've got to make our Rayman game be around that. So, just like that, Ubisoft cancelled Rayman 4. Yep, they just fucking cancelled it. I can only imagine the sadness in Murphy's face when he heard that. They literally teased Rayman 4 in Rayman 3, but then Rayman 4 just doesn't happen, because greedy higher-ups who know fucking nothing about video games thought it'd be a great idea to make Rayman about motion controls, which is not what you played Rayman for. So with Rayman 4 being cancelled, Ubisoft Montpellier took over the project and began making their own Rayman game. In spring of 2006, it was announced that it would be Rayman Raving Rabbids, positioned as the fourth mainline Rayman game. From what I could find, apparently Michael Ansel was the creative lead initially, but things changed. You see, Rayman Raving Rabbids' development, it was set to be an open-world game that featured combat, platforming, and exploring, kinda similar to what Rayman 2 did, but it would feature the Rabbids. It was looking like we were going to get a Rayman 4 after all, but then something happened. Shortly after E3 2006, the whole game was completely reworked into a minigame compilation. They scrapped the open world adventure platformer, which by the way is what Rayman is known for, and turned it into a party game. And yeah, that's when we get the game we've known today. Rayman Raving Rabbids. A game full of minigames. No kind of Rayman elements to be seen. No matter how much you guys love or hate this game, You have to admit, this isn't a Rayman game. Rayman Raving Rabbids completely strips all the elements from the previous Rayman games and just takes the Rayman character himself and puts it into a party game. Apart from that, it has nothing to do with Rayman whatsoever. But hey, maybe I'm judging a book by its cover. Maybe I'm being too harsh. Why don't we actually play the game and see what it has to offer? So without further ado, let's begin. Well, that's a fancy new Ubisoft logo. Jesus! That scared the hell out of me, not gonna lie. That's a bit of a jump scare. I hope none of you were playing on max volume there. I might need to change my underwear after that. Be right back. Well, for one, the title screen looks alright. From what it looks like, we have either story mode or score mode. Let's just start with story mode for now. So then we get the intro cutscene, and it looks like Rayman is having a picnic with the baby glow boxes. Okay, strange place to start it, but okay. Perhaps Rayman is babysitting the glow boxes for Glowbox. So they're enjoying themselves, but then all of a sudden this happens.
Whoa! Whoa!
Did you guys hear that? Please tell me you guys heard that, right? Glowbox? Rayman is calling out for Glowbox? Is Glowbox going to be our hero and help Rayman here? Surely this means we're going to see Glowbox again, right? Right? Is that wishful thinking? This is when Rayman is chucked into an arena, and the arena is surrounded by the Rabbids taunting Rayman, and from what it looks like, there are 4 doors for Rayman to go into. Okay, interesting. Let's go on the first one and see what this brand new Rayman game has to offer. Bunnies don't give gifts? Move the left and right analog stick up and down as fast as you can. What? What? Oh my god, what the hell is this? What am I even playing? What a fucking fantastic introduction this was to me when I was a child and I first played this game. Having to move the left and right analog sticks up and down as fast as you can is probably the most tedious way to control something in a game. And when I was a kid, I didn't even have the stamina to do this. I'm not kidding. I had to get my older brother to do this for me, because I just did not have the muscle mass to do it this quick. So we're already starting off with a bad start here, not gonna lie. If this is our introduction to this new game, it's already starting off pretty fucking bad. Seriously, even at the age of 27, I had to pause halfway through this minigame just to give my hands a quick refresh. And it also doesn't help that I have carpal tunnel. This kind of control scheme is not good for me at all. But hey, maybe I'm just being too harsh on this, I don't know. Maybe it's not that bad. Let's just see what the second minigame has to offer. What the fuck am I doing? So this second minigame is literally just an animal cruelty of the hammer throw you see in the Olympics. That's literally what this minigame is. The hammer throw, but with animal cruelty. You literally swing a cow and throw it as far as you can. Excuse me, I thought this was a kid's game. Why is a kid's game advocating for cows to be tossed? Like, am I thinking too deeply into that one? Or is it just me? Anyway, this minigame is alright, however the timing is very difficult to get right. You have to let go of the cow at the exact right time, and that window of where you gotta throw him is so tight and so quick, you need to be paying the utmost best attention to it, because it is very quick and very easy to miss. And if you miss the window, then this will happen. So that was the second minigame. It was okay, but a little bit confusing. Let's see what the third one has to offer. This is the game we've been waiting 3 years for? For this? This minigame is so fucking boring. Firstly, the cursor is overly sensitive, and it's almost impossible to trace the objects perfectly, so good luck trying to score 1,000 points in the score mode. And 2, this isn't really that fun. And it doesn't make any sense. We're just drawing imaginary objects that come to life so the bunnies can eat them. And by the way, I did not want to know what these rabbits eat, because some of these things that the rabbits eat, I cannot understand. So after we complete that minigame, we come back to the hub, and it looks like the big gate in the middle is opened. So it looks like we only needed to complete 3 of these minigames to open the main one. But we're here to look at everything here today, so let's see what the fourth one has to offer. I'm gonna be honest about this one. This is probably the best minigame so far. It's very simple. You just gotta press the left and right triggers at the right times, like a rhythm game. And honestly, this is the funnest thing in the game so far. Mainly because we're listening to a good tune, and we're timing the rhythm to the song. Not gonna lie, I used to hate this when I was a kid. I just didn't have the reaction time back then to do it, for whatever reason. But now as an adult, this is a piece of cake. I don't know why my younger self found this hard. This disco minigame is by far the funnest so far, but it is also the most overused minigame. More on that later. So we're back in the hub, and upon completing the fourth minigame, it looks like we've unlocked a song for our jukebox. From what it looks like, the song we just played in the disco, we've unlocked that song for our jukebox in our cell? Okay, I don't know what that means, but moving on. So what's in the big door? What is in here? What the fuck is this? What the fuck is this? So what we have here is an on-rails first-person shooter, but instead of using guns, we're using a plunger launcher? Okay, how does that make any sense? I don't know. But yeah, introducing the plungers. For whatever reason, the collectible in this game is fucking plungers. Yeah, like we're back in 3rd grade and toilet jokes were funny. More on that one later, because I have a lot to say about that one. But yeah, plungers in this game signify this game's constant use of toilet humour. Trust me, I'm not kidding about that statement. You'll see more soon. So how this minigame works is that bunnies will come at us and attack us, and we've got to use the plunger launcher to take them out. And it's quite in-depth, not gonna lie. Like, there are certain tactics you have to deploy during this. Some bunnies will have plunger launchers of their own, and when they shoot plungers at you, you've got to counteract the plungers before they hit you by shooting at them yourself. And that's not the only weapon you have. You also have the lockjaw, I guess you could say. You launch this hand attached to a long chain, and it'll grab a buddy and pull it in front of you, and you can use that as a shield, or just throw it away. You could tell they were trying to go in depth with this mode, but it just didn't hold any weight. It's just way too boring, if you ask me. And by the way, every 5 plunges you launch, you have to reload. And I don't understand the point of this mechanic either, because you literally just press one button, and it's instantly reloaded. Instantly. It's like, why even have it there? Seriously, why even have it there if it's literally just there for an extra button to press? There's no reload time or anything. It's just instant. It's just there to make you have to press another button. That is it. The whole point of this mode is Rayman is trying to free the baby glow box. So I guess it adds some story element to it. At least Rayman's saving the baby glow boxes. But I'm gonna be honest, I find it hard to have an emotional attachment to this. Only because of the shared fact that Glowbox himself is not in this game. Yep, Glowbox is not in this game. In fact, none of the iconic Rayman characters return in this game. We don't get Glowbox, we don't get Murphy, we don't get the Teensies, we don't get Lee, we don't get Clark, we don't even get Lums. Even Lums aren't in this game. Probably the most notable feature about Rayman, the Lums, even those don't return. The only things that return in this game is Rayman and the baby glow boxes. That is it. Apart from that, we see no returning characters. Literally none. So this fact alone makes this game feel like it's not even part of the Rayman universe at all. And it literally isn't. Because in what Rayman universe is the primary source of gunpowder fucking plungers? Like, what fucking universe is that? Anyway, enough rambling. So we free the glow box, and after we freed them, we come back to the arena, and we've won a plunger. Huh? Huh? We've won a plunger? Didn't we just have a gun that shot out endless plungers? And we were reloading plungers into it? It was looking like Rayman had an endless supply of plungers. So, he wins a singular plunger? Okay, that makes no sense to me, but what ifs? And then what happens next is we are taken back to our cell room, and the only thing we get to keep is the single plunger we won. So now we're in our cell room, and basically this is like our homeworld. There are multiple things to do in here. We have a cabinet here where we can change our outfits, which, it's pretty cool, not gonna lie, but the outfits we start with are kinda lame, not gonna lie. They do get better as we go on, but the first ones we start with are kinda lame. And then of course we have the jukebox that was mentioned earlier, and it looks like this is where we can play music, and the music will even stay on after we've left the jukebox, which, it's cool, I guess. Guess it adds more life to the place, I suppose. And then we can, oh my god. Yep, the toilet humor returns again. We can use the toilet to revisit previous minigames we've played. A little odd how it does that, but okay. And this is basically here to finish any uncompleted minigame you haven't completed. But then there's this. Press X to look out the window. Okay, what the hell is that all about? What was the point of doing that? I don't know. You know what? I'm getting bored. Let's go on to the next day and see if the minigames actually get better, because it was a pretty underwhelming start, not gonna lie. Let's see if there's better minigames to offer. This is when we get taken to the next day, and we're tossed in an arena with 4 new minigames again. So that's basically the progression of this game. Complete 4 minigames to unlock another minigame, complete that one to end the day, go back to your cell, and then click X to start the next day, rinse and repeat. It's a pretty boring progression, not gonna lie. Enough rambling. Let's see what the next minigame has to offer. Block them in the toilet for 50 seconds? Excuse me, what? What the fuck is this? I completely forgot this minigame existed, because I like to scrub it out of my mind that this video game even exists. This minigame is an embarrassment to everything that Rayman stands for. So basically what this minigame is the bunnies, for whatever reason, leave the dunny doors unlocked, and you gotta keep smacking the doors back in, because they're gonna keep opening. Now, I don't know about you, but I find zero humour in this as an adult. I do believe I found this funny when I was a kid, but oh my god, I am ashamed that I found this funny when I was a kid. I am embarrassed with myself that I found this funny when I was a kid, because this is a disgrace to the Rayman franchise. What are we doing? This minigame is so bad, and so unfunny, and so unfun, it makes me want to jump off a bridge. You remember when I said this game loves toilet humour? Well, this is the worst of it right here. Literally using toilets as a prop for a minigame. And like I said before, I completely forgot this minigame even existed, because it's that fucking bad that I don't want to remember it. The rest of the minigames in Day 2 are nothing special either. The next minigame is literally just a jump rope challenge. Just press X at the right time and that is it. I don't know about you guys, but I won't be getting back up from having my bollocks smacked with a chain jump rope. The next minigame isn't even like difficult or anything, it's just tedious. You have to keep spamming X to shoot carrot juice at the bunnies. There's nothing difficult about this challenge, it's just tedious. Because your finger is probably going to get very tired from spamming X. The fourth minigame is... what? Another disco minigame? Really? Another one? I mean, I'm not complaining. I don't mind the disco minigames. Yeah, the disco minigames are by far the most repeated minigame in the game. Every day in this game has one disco minigame, meaning there's 15 total disco minigames. Which might not sound like a lot, but it adds up quick. The fifth minigame is nothing to write home about either. It's just a repeat of the first minigame, but in a different scenery. Just shoot at the bunnies when they come at you, yada yada yada. The only thing different about this one is that we have a submarine to shoot down this time, but it's stupidly easy to do. You just gotta knock back fireworks back at it. Anyway, moving on to Day 3, the minigames don't get any better. The first minigame we gotta launch Super Bunny with a handcart. And how do you speed up the handcart? You guessed it, moving both analog sticks up and down at the same time. Oh my god, it's so tedious having to do that. But thankfully, you don't have to do it for that long in this minigame. It's only for a good 5 or 10 seconds you gotta do that. So it's nowhere near as bad, but still, super annoying to do. Now I do need to disclose something, as I'm sure I've already got in the comments. Yes, I am aware this game is also on the Wii, and I'm sure the controls for this are much more simple in the Wii. Like, I would imagine you would have to move the Wiimote instead, as opposed to the tedious moving the analog sticks up and down. But honestly, I don't see how the Wii version would control any better than this. Moving the Wiimote up and down doesn't sound like it would be any more fun, to be honest. But hey, maybe I'm talking out my ass, maybe it's different, I don't know. I haven't played it, I never will. The minigame that comes after this, oh my Jesus Christ, that is terrifying. What the absolute fuck am I looking at? Yeah, we gotta pull worms out of the bunny's teeth. Now this may seem a little annoying at first, until you figure out that this minigame is super easy to cheese. All you gotta do is move your cursor around in circles going across all 4 spots, and just spam X. Yep, if you just spam X and move all the way around, you can easily cheese this minigame. I've gotten super far in this minigame in score mode because of this. I was able to score 1,000 in this minigame just from doing this tactic. It's stupidly fucking easy when you figure this tactic out. But still, good Jesus does this game look horrifying. And then we come on to a minigame where we've got to control a ball inside a bunny's brain. Yeah, this minigame makes no sense to me at all. It's just another one of those minigames where you just gotta roll the ball through the maze. And also you can tilt the maze in 4 different directions to move it. It's stock standard stuff. Disco time! And in this disco minigame, we're dancing to Girls Just Wanna Have Fun. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not complaining about listening to this song. It makes this minigame a tad bit more enjoyable. Not gonna lie. And then we unlock the 5th minigame again. Let me guess, is this going to be another bunny shootout? No. We're actually racing on warthogs. Yeah, this minigame isn't that fun either. All you gotta do is press and hold the R2 button and just steer the warthog through the fucking course. It provides no challenge and is way too easy. There is nothing difficult about this minigame at all. That's the problem with this game, is a lot of the minigames in this game are super easy, but then you just have the few that are tedious, and then you have the select few that just feel impossible sometimes. There's no consistency to the difficulty in this game. There's no consistency. The most annoying minigames are by far the ones where you gotta move the analog sticks up and down. Those are by far the worst minigames. There's no consistency to this game. And if you ask me, none of this feels like a Rayman game. It's just a party game with the Rayman name on it, with absolutely god-awful kindergarten humour as well. At the end of the third day, Rayman goes back to his cell with yet another plunger, but then he figures out an idea. He can use the plungers to scale the wall up to the window. So it looks like we've finally got a goal. And that's get enough plungers to get out of the window. It's about time we had some meaning going on, because it just seemed like Rayman was just trapped here for no reason, and we were just doing minigames for the sake of it. Looks like we've finally got a fucking task now. Moving on to the next day, we have a minigame where we're milking a cow. Oh, Jesus Christ, I did not like this minigame when I was a kid, and I still don't like it now. The way we milk the cow is by, you guessed it, moving both analog sticks up and down. And when I was a kid, I once again didn't have the stamina to do this. This is yet another minigame I had to get my brother to help me with, because I just didn't have the stamina to do it. Even as an adult, I still cut this minigame very close. It's just super unenjoyable. And Godspeeds to anyone who's gonna try and go for 1,000 points in score mode, because goddamn I would not have the patience for that. The rest of the minigames here are nothing special. The second minigame we've got to herd a bunch of pigs, which, whatevs, nothing special. The minigame after that is literally just us staring a bunny icon through a maze. Go figure. Then we're on our fourth disco minigame, and the scenery is actually different for this one. It's actually looking more haunting this time, which is mainly done to reflect the music that we're playing. It's okay, I guess, but it still doesn't fix the repetition of this minigame. However, upon completing this minigame, we unlock a golf outfit, which, okay, I guess it suits the theme. The next bunny shootout game is nothing special either. It's just killing all the bunnies in a movie set. It's nothing too special if you ask me. Day 5. Surely we're going to get some riveting minigames this time. I guess I got my hopes up for nothing. This minigame is a memory game, and personally, I do not like memory games. I suck at them. Maybe that's just a me issue, but I really don't like them at all. Whether it was in Spyro, or this game, I don't like them. For this minigame, if you ask me, it's all about RNG. You just have to hope it gives you an order that's not too difficult to remember. This minigame is, say it with me, tedious. The remaining minigames aren't special either. We have a minigame where we have to smack bunnies as they come out of the burrows. So, it's basically just a bunny version of Whack-A-Mole. Nothing special there. Then we have to do a minigame which is basically just red light, green light, and Simon Says put together. That's the best way I can describe this minigame, because that's literally what it is. Again, nothing too fantastic. The disco minigame has a different change of scenery again. And honestly, this is probably the best looking disco so far, I'm not gonna lie. But apart from that, it's just the same old disco minigame. And it's starting to get tiring, not gonna lie. Day 5's Bunny Shootout minigame is actually pretty decent. It has a very menacing atmosphere, as we're going through a graveyard, and we're trying to free the baby glow box that's stuck on top of the giant building, but there's this robot bunny protecting it. It's an interesting change in dynamic. I like this one. Day 6. Wow, looks like the bunnies are getting bored now, are they? Well, honestly, I don't blame you, because I'm getting bored with this game too. Day 6 is a combination of weird minigames, not gonna lie. The first minigame, we're carrying a pig across a graveyard, and we gotta listen to the pig and the controller vibrations to let us know when a bunny's about to come out, so we know not to go that way. It's, again, nothing special. Then we have a minigame where we gotta smack a bunny over and over with a hammer. Okay, so I guess we're advocating for bunnies to be hit with a hammer now? Okay, not what you expect from a kid's game, but that's just me. Then we get this minigame. Oh my good fucking Christ, I do not like this minigame at all. It's basically another one of those minigames where you see the picture for a brief moment, and then it's gone, and you have to recreate it. And oh my good Jesus Christ, I suck at this one. Maybe it's just a skill issue of mine, but I feel like a lot of people will agree that this one is very annoying. The disco minigame is just the same as usual, but we are repeating the haunted theme again. And then we have yet another warthog race. It's not a bunny shootout again. And this one is better than the first one, at least, because there's actually shortcuts you can take strategically in this one. But again, it's way too easy and provides no challenge. When we get back to our cell looks a little different now. We've now got a nice rug in the middle of the room. Our bed is different. And our vinyl player has been upgraded to a fully modern jukebox. It looks pretty cool, not gonna lie. But why are these changes here? Well, your guess is as good as mine. The same thing will happen on day 11, except the walls are much nicer, and we've got a new wardrobe and a brand new toilet. About time, I guess. That first toilet was bad. I don't know why they did this. I guess it's to make it feel like the game's progressing, but doesn't feel like it to me. And then we move on to day 7, and day 7 is actually home to some decent minigames this time. The first minigame we do, Bunnies Can't Play Soccer, this is actually a really good minigame, not gonna lie. It may seem frustrating at first, but this minigame is actually fun to play. All you gotta do is kick the bunny towards the goal, and try to score a goal without the bunny blocking it. It's simple, but still fun. I don't know about you, but this is probably one of my favourite minigames in the game. Speaking of favourites, we get this minigame where we've got a bunny who has got a plunger on his face and he can't see what he's doing. And we've got to use our tools to lure him into traps. Yep, this minigame is a blast. I fucking love this minigame. I don't know why I like this one so much. Especially because of how in-depth this minigame is. You see, different traps are worth different points. But stringing the same type of trap together will double the points. And it creates an interesting strategy. Do you want to go for the very high scoring traps and try to combo those ones together? Or do you just want to do a bunch of cacti instead? It's a very interesting minigame in that regards. It's got many options of how you can score big on this. I like this one. And then we got another repeated minigame, guiding the ball through the maze minigame again. Honestly, I don't mind this one, to be honest. It's not spectacular, but I don't mind it. The disco minigame has reverted back to the original disco theme again. A little odd, but whatever. And then we get to the bunny shootout. This bunny shootout, I'm gonna be completely honest, is probably the best one so far. We're going through an old mine, and the game is actually using the minecart system to make this game mode a little bit more interesting. Between us fighting bunnies while riding a minecart, between us going down a very dark tunnel, and not seeing the bunnies until they just fly past us. There's a lot of uniqueness to this minigame compared to the rest of the bunny shootouts. Honestly, it gets a thumbs up from me. I'm going to be honest, day 7 is probably the best set of minigames so far. I'm being dead ass when I say that. It's probably the best so far. But I probably should have saved it while I could, because it doesn't get better from here. Alrighty, it's time for day 8. And what does this game have in store for us now? Are you fucking kidding me? Bunnies Never Close Doors Part 2? Are we seriously repeating this minigame again? Again? It was awful the first time. Why are we doing this one again? What fucking idiot at Ubisoft thought this minigame was a good idea to repeat? Michael Ansel, I sure as hope you didn't approve this, did you? Anyway, enough rambling about that. So what's different about this one compared to the first one? Well, occasionally bunnies will walk in front of you. And I, for the life of me, cannot describe how annoying these guys are. And I feel like these guys are there to outright stop you from proceeding in the minigame. Like, you see this there? You see that there? I cannot shut that door without hitting him. So I'm just forced to lose this one. Like, that is just such a bad game design. I'm sorry. And it goes without saying, fuck whoever thought this minigame should come back. Okay, I think you guys get the point now. I'm not going to continue analysing the minigames, because we'll be here forever if we do, but I'll keep it brief. The minigames don't really get that much different as we progress. There are a few unique ones that come up, but they still don't feel like they're anything special. The only minigames that stood out to me and I actually liked was the choir minigame. This minigame is so fun, and the fact that bunnies will just rat each other out is just the funniest shit ever to me. Basically how this minigame works is one bunny is singing off tune, and you gotta look around and find the bunny who's singing off tune and smack him. The way you find him is listen out for him as you move your cursor around the bunnies, and if you zoom in on a bunny who is adjacent to the incorrect one, he'll point at him. I always found that funny when I was a kid. Me and my brother had a blast with this one. Another minigame that kinda stood out to me was the second version of Bunnies Can't Slide. Whilst the first one was kind of RNG, the second variant of it is actually better than the first one is. Why? Because you don't reset upon each slide. There's 3 slides, but you don't reset on either of them. You just gotta finish the third one in the middle. And I think that's what the first one should have been. And to make it even better, there's obstacles in the way. So if you play your cards right, you could try knocking your opponents into the water, getting them out of the game. I loved this minigame when I was younger, and I still find it fun now. If only there was more minigames like this. So, after day 15, after doing all 75 minigames, the time has finally come. We finally have enough plungers to get out of the window. Let's see what happens.
What the absolute fuck was that?
Okay, I'm back in front of the mic again, after losing my mind. I'm being deadass when I say this, I'm not exaggerating at all. This fucking ending is worse than Spyro Into the Dragonfly or Spyro A Hero's Tales endings combined. And any of you guys who have played those games know what the fuck I'm talking about. So when I'm saying those games had better endings than this game did, that's fucking saying something. Cause this ending is fucking awful. Seriously, like, I don't feel like I've accomplished anything. It just left me with more questions. Firstly, what happened to the baby glow boxes? I thought we freed them through the bunny shootout minigames. Where the hell did they go? Did Rayman forget to take them with him or something? That's what I'm assuming this is, but I thought he freed them. What did he do with the ones he freed? This ending just left me feeling like I didn't complete the game. Like, I don't feel like I've accomplished anything with this. It also doesn't help that you don't even get a reward if you complete the 4th minigame on day 15. You just get a fucking golden cow. It's just a congratulations for playing all minigames on day 15. Here's no reward. At least every other day gave you a reward. This day was just like, nope, we forgot to add an extra costume, so just have a golden cow. I don't understand this game's ending. It feels so incomplete and it doesn't make me feel satisfied in the slightest. So now that we're done with story mode, the only other thing we've got to look at is the score mode. Alright, I won't go full negative straight away. I'll hold my complaints till the end. I was around 8 or 9 years old when I first played this game, and being that young, I naturally had people around that I could play this game with, and I remember playing multiplayer on this game with a lot of friends when I was younger. Especially my brother. Like, this game was a blast to play in multiplayer. I guess that's one good takeaway you could say about this game, is that it is fun when you're playing with other people, but playing this game solo is such a snooze fest. It's just not fun at all. And I think that's where the root cause of this game stems from. This game was designed to be a party game for the whole family to play, but that's just not what you play Rayman for. It's just not. But still, if you got people you can play this game with, this game can be a good time. But that's where my praise ends for this. The score mode of Rayman Raving Rabbids is very, very, very tedious to complete. You see, each minigame you can score up to 1,000 points. And how do you score 1,000 points in each minigame? Well, you gotta do ridiculously, extremely good in each minigame. And I feel like some of them are physically impossible for me to do. Especially the ones that involve moving the analog sticks up and down constantly. I feel like those are physically impossible. I don't know how anyone can do it. But this is all you're left with. Once you complete story mode, this is all you have left to do. Is just try to score 1,000 on every minigame. There's literally nothing else to do. So this game even sucks when it comes to replayability, because it's just not fun to replay these minigames because you're trying to bust your ass off to get a good score. And all these issues alone, the lackluster story mode, the endless minigames that just don't feel like they mean anything, between the ending leaving you with more questions than what you already had, between replaying these minigames being not fun whatsoever, this leads to a mediocre, unenjoyable Rayman game. And that is why I'm gonna say with full confidence, Rayman Raving Rabbids ruined Rayman. I'm not even gonna humour that. This game killed Rayman. The Rayman series had such a good run. Rayman 3 was such a banger game. And it looked like we're gonna get a Rayman 4, but it gets cancelled for this game. And for whatever reason, Rayman Raving Rabbids sold well enough that Ubisoft decided to make a franchise out of the Rabbids. So now Rayman was put to the side, and the Rabbids took over. And because of this, it wouldn't be until 2011 that we'd finally see an actual Rayman game again. And that was Rayman Origins, which this was basically a throwback to the original Rayman in terms of the 2D gameplay style. And 2 years later, we would soon get Rayman Legends as well, which is another 2D Rayman game. I've heard positive things about both these games, but personally me, I don't like 2D games. So that's why I've never really played these games. I did play the demo of Rayman Origins. It was fun, but it just didn't feel like anything like Rayman 3 or Rayman 2 to me. And yeah, Rayman 3 was the last 3D Rayman game we have gotten. It's been 23 fucking years now. 23 years. And we still haven't gotten a Rayman 4. Like, that teaser at the start of Rayman 3 aged so badly. And it didn't have to be this way. But history is history. And I can say, Rayman Raving Rabbids killed Rayman. I'm gonna be honest, I did have a good time with this game when I was a kid, but man, there was a lot of things with this game that I did not see as a child. Now as an adult looking back at this game is a disgrace. And I fucking hate everything about this game, because this game killed our limbless marsupial. But this is one man's opinion on this game. What do you guys think about Rayman Raving Rabbids? Do you agree with me that this game was awful and it killed Rayman indefinitely? Or do you think I'm totally wrong and that this game actually has a place in the Rayman franchise? I look forward to hearing what you guys think about this game, because I'm open to hearing opinions. But this is definitely an opinion piece that I needed to get off my chest, because this game single-handedly ruined Rayman. I hope you guys enjoyed this retrospective on Rayman Raving Rabbids. Looks like we earn enough points for the first bonus in the extras menu of this game. I wonder what this is. Let's have a watch. Alright, that's enough. This video is officially cancelled.